Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am driving this. This is the Tata Tigor EV. But before we reach the car, let me talk about my favorite car perfume brand, which is Involve Your Senses. And today we have with us the Involve One Citrus. It's a special citric fragrance which is a fresh blend of lemon, lime and orange. Smells really very nice. It's super easy to regulate. Like, this is how you can regulate it. And it is leak proof, does not leak, lasts almost up to 2 months. Anyways, let's get to the car and straight away open the I was going to say engine bay, but there is no engine here. Where is the lever? There it is, and there is the electric motor. It says Ziptron EV. Meanwhile, there is insulation there. That is kind of unnecessary because the vehicle is on and you can barely hear it. Now I'm going to make some comparisons of this car with the regular Tigor petrol as well as the Express T, which is the facelifted version of the Tigor EV for fleet operators and for government, of course. Now here what you get is a projector setup for the headlight along with a revised housing here for the fog lamp along with an LED DRL, which by the way turns off when you actually turn on the headlight of the vehicle, and then when you turn off the headlight obviously it turns on as well. So this is not there. The projector setup and this LED DRL is not there in the Express T. The grille is also slightly different. It gets this tri-arrow pattern, says EV right there, and the charging port is actually placed here in the Express T. So that is a little different. This is also very nice and sort of different. Now there are minor changes when compared to the Tigor, regular Tigor, but this car is actually based on the Tigor facelift, and this is the teal blue color. There are only two color options. There's a grey and there's this teal blue. Now you see it gets this blue thing running. It's actually electric blue, whatever you want to call it. Looks really nice, electric blue accents as such. Now the thing is that this doesn't really slot into place as such. This is the humanity line of the vehicle. EV moniker, like I already told you, red number plate, it should be green actually. The wheels on this car are actually 14 inches. Now these are low rolling resistance tires for better efficiency. 175/65 14s. This is not an alloy, by the way. This is actually a wheel cap. Yeah, this is a wheel cap, and it doesn't come out like it does in the Quid though. The thing here is that in the Express T, you actually get the option of alloy wheels on the top variant. You get them actually. Meanwhile, the regular Tigor petrol gets 15-inch diamond cut wheels. Here you get 14 inches steel wheels. You know the reason for 14 inches? Because obviously this is electric, it weighs more than the petrol. So they want to go higher on the profile, which means smaller size tire. And the result is to cope up with the ride quality of the car, because this is obviously going to be stiffer than the petrol to take care of the additional weight of the batteries. Says EV right here. Piano black finishing. Now again, this is part of the dual tone color treatment, which gives you a piano black, or rather gloss black roof as well. Shark fin antenna again finished in that gloss black. Not complete chrome on the door handles. Okay, there's splashed some chrome. Request sensor here. Request sensor is not on the other side, and you get this chrome line. This somehow does not slot into place. And here you see this also kind of feels like an afterthought to me. Meanwhile, you also get this electric blue accents here on the steel wheels, rather on the wheel caps of this vehicle, which kind of looks nice when the car is in motion. And from the side, of course, it is sub 4 meters in length. There is the indicator on the outside rear view mirror as well. Coming to the rear of the car, there is a high mounted stop lamp, LED brake light, because this is not LED. The indicator doesn't happen to be LEDs, of course. Meanwhile, it says Ziptron here. You get reverse parking sensors with 2 sensors. There is a reverse parking camera which is integrated fantastically well in this slab of chrome, which kind of joins both the tail lights, brake lights, whatever you want to call it. Nice Tata logo, EV written right there. And that is the reverse light. Only one reverse light on this car. The other one seems to be a reflector. Again, you get this accent here. Meanwhile, this is where the battery is. The battery is actually placed here in place of the fuel tank, of course, and also eats into the boot because it is actually placed in a position which takes the space of the spare wheel. That's the reason. One second, this is kind of easy to open. Here you go, a little effort, but yeah, it opens. The boot is completely filled. That's the reason why the spare wheel is actually placed here and occupies 59 liters. That's the reason the boot is now smaller at 316 liters, and it's filled with stuff which probably you don't need, like a car cover, a warning triangle, toolkit. This is the charging cable of the vehicle, and the spare wheel, which is not an alloy because the regular wheel is not an alloy. So this is the spare wheel which is placed here. They've actually slotted into place so it won't rattle as such. Anyways, this is exposed wiring that could have been better secured. Let's shut this. That's shut. This is from where the vehicle actually charges. It's making this noise when the key is in your pocket. Now it continues to make this sound telling you that the key is not in the car. This is where you charge the vehicle from. And let's quickly get into the rear seat. It says vocal for local, nice touch. Door pockets are actually decent size at the rear. Their half-liter bottle clearly fits in. Doors don't open as wide as its sibling, the Altro's, which opens 90 degrees, but still good enough to get inside. The tri-arrow pattern on the seats. The seats actually finished black in this car. I have to keep stuff here because the boot doesn't have adequate space. In the regular Tigor petrol, it is actually finished in beige, so some difference here as well. Now you see, this is almost flat, but a slight hump in the center. However, there's good amount of legroom on offer. Under thigh support, well, it's decent as such. Headroom is more than adequate. My head is almost touching, but for my height, it's actually adequate, I would say. There's a handle here on both the sides and no adjustable headrest at the rear. Meanwhile, you get a center armrest with twin cup holders, no magazine holders, and there is storage space. This is the only storage space here. No rear AC vents, no USB charging sockets, none of that. The dashboard design remains similar to the regular Tigor. However, like I told you, electric blue accents have been added in certain places, and this is finished in black. It's actually greige in the Tigor petrol. So dual tone treatment, black and beige. Meanwhile, grey and beige is what the Tigor petrol uses, so I call it greige. And the seats are finished in black color. There you get beige treatment. Okay, I would say good to have a light in the center, but you should have one in the front as well. But that's fine, nothing to nitpick as such. Okay, now let me shut this, and there, proper thirdish, I would say. This car has obviously got 4-star in NCAP. Yeah, 4-star rating in NCAP, which is fantastic. The first EV to be tested by global NCAP, and also gets dual airbags, ABS, EBD, traction control, cornering brake control. All these things are standard equipment. Yeah, and the top variants get slightly more features like hill descent control and hill ascent control, although I'm not sure how it works. I'll come to that in a bit. Door pockets at the front are not that big. Okay, half a liter bottle actually slots in here without any issue. 1 liter bottle will be a tight fit. Only the driver's side power window is actually illuminated, and obviously doesn't get one touch up down. It doesn't need to. These are the power window controls, and these are the controls for the outside rear view mirror adjustment, and obviously you can close them electrically. That's also pretty cool. There's a massive storage space here. I would say massive because it can accommodate more than a cigarette packet. No smoking though. And there is a proper dead pedal there as well. Some exposed bits, not some, quite a few exposed bits in this car wires, and also they could have concealed that better for sure. See, it's actually very comfortable. Tri-arrow pattern carried forward on the seat as well, naturally. And you see, the dashboard design actually looks fantastic. Although they are hard plastics, you can't really feel them as such. Straight away, let me first close the door. See this piano black finishing? Tastefully done, because it's here as well. The piano black finishing has been done in multiple places. Flat bottom steering wheel, 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Let's remove this plastic sheet first thing and put it in the glove box. The glove box is actually quite big, lot of stuff kept inside, and it gets a cooling function, and there's a tray on the top, and that is really very deep. Impressive, very deep tray. So Tata Motors has done some practical bits on this car. It actually tells you that you can put a bottle or what you cannot put. Do not put a cup, it will leak. And you see this electric blue accents on around the AC vents, looks really nice. Piano black finishing, also fantastically done. Hard plastics are plenty, but you don't feel that because it's done so beautifully well. The car is actually on, you can't hear it. There's a ticket holder here. Oh my god, so Skoda-like. And there's actually a mirror on the driver's side. Who does that? That's amazing. This is for the mic, of course, and obviously you get a mirror here as well. No auto dimming inside rear view mirror. At this price, you don't expect it. Maybe you can keep some stuff here. I like the dashboard design. What do you think about it? Okay, automatic climate control air conditioning, and when you turn on the air conditioning, actually the display is on the top here. The display comes on the top. Air conditioning is a chiller. There's a USB port right there, and there is a 12-volt charging socket. There's storage space here. What is this? Okay, this is a 3M tape, which actually comes with the Involve Your Senses perfumes. So, you know, you can just slot into place here. Fits right there, which is really very nice. I like it. Okay, and another good thing is I can use this tape and stick it on the dashboard too. So that's pretty handy. I love this perfume. It's really very nice. Meanwhile, there's a 12-volt charging socket again. There's some storage space, twin cup holders, and the gear lever has gone. Now there's this mode selector, obviously, because there are no gears in an electric car. There's nice chrome line around the engine start stop button as well. Lot of buttons here. This is actually to release the charging. Okay, this is to lock or unlock the vehicle. This is to open the boot of the vehicle, and this is for the front fog light. Now let's get into reverse. This takes some time to react, and there is the reverse parking camera. It says park brake engage, please release. Adaptive guidelines as well, which is pretty cool too. Okay, and the steering wheel gets the height adjust function. What else has changed? Well, they've actually revised the instrument cluster to give you EV specific data. So it's telling you how much is the battery percentage, what is the range like, also shows you the speedometer, and this is the mode selector. Basically, it's in neutral, drive, sport or reverse. Odometer telling you the time. It says Ziptron right there. Now this is actually telling you if you're driving eco or if you're driving aggressively. So these bars actually change. This is actually the battery meter or the battery percentage as such. Percentage is here, but that's kind of a bar which is shown there. And here it's showing you the regen braking. Here, that is the regen braking. You have to really step on the brakes to really activate it much. And then you can browse through this by pressing this mode button. It's telling you outside temperature, trip meters, and all that information, and what is like the real-time efficiency of the vehicle as well. So this is a nice slick system, and obviously you have got the electric blue accent here as well. It's there in plenty of places. These are the controls for the lights. These are the controls for the wipers. I think this wiper stock is a bit too on the higher side. Okay, wipers work really well. Plenty of spray on offer as well. Let's listen to an audio right away. Audio quality is actually very nice. Hallman audio system, of course. 4 speakers and 4 tweeters. Very slick to use. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto connectivity. Okay, we're already in that menu, so it won't go any further. It's actually very slick, but there's not much information as such to browse through here. There's something known as a sound demo too. Okay, epic travel. We're going to do that. Look at the confidence of Tata Motors. They are actually having a proper sound demo in this car. That's how much confidence they have in the audio system of their vehicle. Really very nice. These are actually the controls for the audio system, and this is for picking up a call, this is to decline a call, this is actually for muting the audio system, and there's voice control as well. Now the horn button is very nicely placed on the edges, so very easy to press, although the horn could be a lot better. Now this push button start seemed like an afterthought because of this particular design in this place. That said, I think the dashboard looks really very attractive in this car. It's also got connected car tech known as IRA with 30 connected car features. Now here is another interesting thing. When I turn off the lights, obviously it becomes brighter, but this light blinks, which is actually for the DRL, telling you that the DRL is turned on. Check this out. Okay, it becomes a lot brighter when you turn off the lights, of course. Meanwhile, I'm just going to put the car in neutral. It's already in neutral. If I put the handbrake down, there you see the car starts moving. I kid you not. The car actually starts moving because although it has got hill descent control, I don't know why it's not working as such. There you see, it's moving very slowly, very slowly, extremely slowly, but it is actually moving. And I was also quite surprised that, okay, it should not be rolling back like this in neutral, but this means that you really have to use the handbrake. You cannot avoid using the handbrake, otherwise the car will keep rolling back. And that can be a bit of a safety hazard because all of us assume that neutral mein dal diya to chalo abhi gaadi nahi hilegi. So on a slope, this is a small problem, but obviously handbrake needs to be used at all times. Let's start driving this beast right away. Alright, we're all set to go, which means turning off the air conditioning, getting into sport mode right away, handbrake down, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, hazard light off, and there we have reached 100 kilometers per hour. So in sport mode, the car feels a little bit better in terms of performance. However, overall performance isn't what you would expect from an electric car because it doesn't push you back into the seat. I know all the power, all the torque comes at 0 RPM itself, but that doesn't result in scary performance, which is the case with the Nexon, which absolutely spins its wheels, thrusts ahead very fast indeed. Here, everything is very linear. There's no pushback as such. And I kind of felt disappointed when I got on the throttle in sport mode. I was like, this doesn't push me back into the seat. So yes, that's because the battery pack and the motor is actually on the smaller side. 0 to 60 kilometers per hour comes in a claimed 5.7 seconds. I believe 0 to 100 kilometers per hour will come in around 12-13 seconds, which isn't fast as such. But then this one uses a 26 kilowatt hour lithium ion battery with liquid cooling. And the power output is just a meager 75 horsepower. Meanwhile, the torque output is 170 Newton meters, which is sort of diesel level power and torque output here, but the refinement levels are absolutely staggering. The car is super smooth, super refined. Obviously, it's an electric car, so you don't hear anything at all. That's the level of smoothness. The only thing you can hear on the outside is when the air conditioning is turned on. Talking about outside, well, when you actually unlock the car, the mirrors retract automatically. So that's also pretty cool. Now, I'm going to compare it with the Express T, which had even more lackluster performance. I'm not saying performance is lackluster here, it's just not as exciting as I would have thought. It's better than the Tigor petrol for sure, but for this price of almost 14 lakh rupees, I definitely expect more from the Tigor EV. I have no idea what this Desire is doing, but it doesn't desire to keep its car dent free. Coming to the Express T, that one produces just 41 horsepower and 105 Newton meters of torque, which is like 34 horsepower lesser than this and 65 Newton meters lesser than this Tigor EV. And the Express T as well as the pre-facelift Tigor produce the identical power and torque. They use the same battery as well. Only thing is there's a slight difference in the battery size for the Express T when compared to the pre-facelift Tigor EV, and that's the result. The range is slightly more in the Express T, which is 165 kilometers for the short range one, and for the long range one, both of them are the same at 213 kilometers. Meanwhile, the pre-facelift Tigor for the short range was giving a range of just 142 kilometers. Here, though, the claim range is 306 kilometers. As per ARAI, of course, and I don't know what ARAI does. Does it test its cars on a slope or something, or through a cliff? Because even when the car had 100% charge in the morning, the range on the instrument cluster was showing 240. Yeah, so I don't know how ARAI manages to get that kind of fuel efficiency. Maybe they do their own internal fuel efficiency runs, comparing and competing with each other, who can extract better mileage from the cars, which in the real world is just not possible. So when I compare ARAI claim to the actual distance to MT1, there's a difference of around 20%. With that calculation, the pre-facelift Tigor had a really bad range on a full charge of battery, and that's the result. Many people were actually complaining, saying that, you know, we're not getting much mileage out of our cars on a full charge, that is. But hey, I'm not complaining right now, because I feel this, being the most affordable EV in India, has more than adequate performance. It's really very smooth, really nice. Top speed 121 kilometers per hour. You can actually hit it right away. It struggles after 110 kilometers per hour to go much further, but then it will hit 121 kilometers per hour, which is the top speed. So it doesn't really have a top end as such. It doesn't need to have, because it's more about drivability, where it absolutely excels because of all that torque. It's just the thing is that it's on the heavier side. It weighs 165 kgs more than the regular Tigor, and it actually weighs around 150 kgs lesser than the Nexon. In spite of the fact that it weighs lesser than the Nexon, 150 kgs is a lot of weight, and is more aerodynamic as well. It is nowhere even near the Nexon in terms of performance, because the Nexon has a bigger battery pack, obviously 30.2 kilowatt hour. The difference might not seem much, but the power and torque output is so much more in the Nexon that the performance is absolutely breathtaking. Here, the performance is adequate, gets the job done. With the Nexon, I was like, is this the Desi Model X? Here, I can't even call it the Desi Model 3, let alone the Model S, because performance just about adequate, doesn't put your pants on fire at all. Although I would have to admit, the ride is really very nice, soaks up all the bumps in its stride, and that's the reason they've actually gone for 14 inches for a bigger sidewall when compared to the Tigor petrol, which actually gets 15-inch wheels. So because this is going to be slightly stiffer due to the heavier weight, they had to actually go one size smaller on the wheels for a higher side profile, which lends it a very good ride. The ride is actually pretty nice. I like the ride on this car. It's very, very, very impressive indeed. The horn could be better though. Onto the throttle. Okay, it makes quick overtakes. Talking about the range, I think in the real world you should get somewhere between 200 to 220 kilometers, which is decent. And as far as charging options go, there are two of them. One is the regular AC charging at your house, which is a 15 ampere socket. That will go from 0 to 80%, take the battery from 0 to 80% in 8.5 hours. Meanwhile, with the DC fast charger, the 25 kilowatt one, you will go from 0 to 80% in 65 minutes, slightly above an hour. You know what? These are identical to the Nexon's charging time, which means that obviously they share a lot, same Ziptron technology as well, but the performance is way better than the Express T. Even the range is way better than the Express T. So the charging time also is faster than the Express T, which is obviously expected. It's got regenerative braking, and it doesn't have the same kind of regen as, say, other EVs, so it doesn't really decelerate very fast when you let go of the throttle. Here obviously you can see the regen happening, how much regen is happening as well. The thing is that the handling is actually quite nice. There is some amount of body roll. Naturally, there has to be body roll considering the suspension is on the softer side for a nice ride. But at the rear, now it feels a little on the stiffer side. So there's slight amount of stiffness which you can feel on the rear wheels because the big fat battery is sitting there, and the front is nice and sorted. And of course, the steering wheel is very nice. It's super duper light at lower speeds weighs up beautifully well at high speeds as well, and high speed stability is fantabulous because it really doesn't go to high speeds as such. In fact, I know you guys want to know what is the high speed stability of this car, which I will show you in a bit. But let me tell you something, if you're looking for practicality and low running costs, this is a fantastic car. Here I'm full on the throttle, and there now the struggle starts. The struggle is real. 119, okay, now you see it's almost 120. That is the top speed of this car, the Tigor EV. I think that has done a fantastic job, but since this was not made as an EV from outside, the position of the battery is in the wrong place. It's not between the wheelbase, and if it was in between the wheelbase, of course the overall dynamics would be much better, weight distribution would be fantastic, right? Very impressive, but overall handling, only thing is the rear kind of feels heavy, and that doesn't lend it great handling capabilities in spite of the fantastic steering wheel. But a person who's going to buy this car really doesn't care about handling as such. Okay, grip levels are also pretty nice. There are these safety systems which keep cutting power all the time, but you don't realize when it intervenes. So there are no wheel spin on offer as such. Even if you try hard, wheel spin is not going to come any which ways. Braking performance is actually good. Pedal feel is not that fantastic. I kind of feel a little sogginess on the pedal, but for the most part, there's little to complain of the driving of this car. Now we're going to launch in regular drive mode, and you can see the difference. Oh, some amount of wheel spin, that's impressive, but kind of feels restricted. The motor doesn't really take off as fast, and right now in regular drive mode I can see the reduction in performance from this car. Now the battery pack complies with IP67 norms, which means that it is water resistant as well as dust proof, and Tata Motors is offering a fantastic warranty on the battery as well as the electric motor of 8 years or 1.6 lakh kilometers, whichever is earlier. On the vehicle you get a very nice warranty as well of 3 years or 1.25 lakh kilometers. Again, pretty impressive. But I have to immediately get into sport mode, where you can immediately feel or instantly feel that the performance is really upped itself. Now there is a regular drive mode and a sport mode, and I believe the Express T actually has an eco mode and a sport mode. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, I don't care. What matters is that in sport mode the performance dramatically improves, obviously at the cost of fuel efficiency, or rather the range, because it's saying 72% and 143 kilometers the range. Do the mathematics and you would know. Now the Tigor EV is available across 150 showrooms in 70 cities and available in 4 variants, actually 3 variants, and the 4th variant also has a dual tone for an additional 15,000 rupees. Price range starts at 12.71 lakhs and goes all the way till 13.91 lakhs. This one costs 13.91 lakhs. All the prices are on road Mumbai. Now obviously prices will differ depending on which city you are in, because some places also offer a subsidy. But here lies the big problem, and the problem is that Tata Motors has a Nexon. Oh my god, that's crazy wheel spin, and it went to 67 kilometers per hour and it came down to 50 kilometers per hour. That was crazy. So don't step on the gas when you come to a corner as such. Okay, it's got hill descent and hill ascent control on the top variants, which is useful at times, but I did not find use of it much till now because the car was rolling back on a slope as such, but then it was in neutral. Any which ways, the problem lies with the Nexon. The Nexon has such fantastic performance. This car is practical, that one is even more practical, and then you factor in that the base Nexon EV XM variant costs just 95,000 rupees more than this one. For a lot better performance, you're better off getting the Nexon. This car actually isn't that attractively priced because the Nexon offers great bang for the buck, the Nexon EV of course, with superb performance, absolutely stellar performance. It actually makes you feel like you're driving something really fast. This one not so much, and that's the reason I would suggest that if you're in the market to buy an electric vehicle, you're better off getting the Nexon EV. I know the base variant doesn't have the sunroof and all those gizmos, but the top variant actually costs 18 lakhs of the Nexon on road Mumbai. But the lower variant, the base variant also, the XM, has decent amount of kit when you compare it to the Tigor EV. And then when you try to compare it to the Tigor petrol, you realize that this one, the top end Tigor EV, the one we are driving right now, and the top end Tigor petrol, which is the automatic, the AMT, the price difference is a massive 4.62 lakh rupees. Yeah, you pay quite a premium for an EV right here, but you're going to get dramatically lower running costs as well. So if you're driving the car very frequently, you are definitely better off getting the Tigor EV, or probably stretching for the Nexon as well. My foot is flat on the floor. It will not go 1 kilometer per hour more than 120 kilometers per hour. They're not restricted to top speed. I think that is what the top speed of this car is. Finally that wheel spin happened, and that only happens on really bad roads with a lot of dust or sand. Any which ways, as I see it, the Tata Tigor EV is a fantastic effort it is the most affordable EV in the market right now, so there is no two ways about it that if you're looking for an EV on a budget, this is the one to get. But obviously I would suggest stretch for the Nexon. It's practical, has a lot of performance for the city, just about adequate for the highways, and Tata Motors is really doing fantastic because this car has no competition at all. So taking that leap of faith and launching an electric vehicle, knowing that the market is still yet to evolve, is a great step from Tata Motors, and I salute them for that. So guys, this is my vlog of the Tata Tigor EV, and this is the Involve One Citrus. You can go to involveyoursenses.com and opt for around 75 fragrances in different styles and formats. You can simply click on the link in the description or on the pinned comment and get yours for a 10% discount using the coupon code FASBEAM. If you like this video, make sure to give the thumbs up, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video real soon. Bye bye, take care. Kind of rolls.